Welcome to The Explainer. Sometimes a story comes along that's just so incredibly personal. It starts with the parent's absolute worst fear, but it turns into this amazing mission by a whole community to build a safe, permanent home for their children. Let's get into it. And really, it all boils down to this one gut-wrenching question. I mean, for any parent, it's a scary thought, right? But imagine if you have a severely disabled child. Suddenly, that question isn't just a thought, it's a constant, terrifying reality that's with you every single day. Can you even imagine hearing something like that? That's the feeling one mother had when an occupational therapist told her the only, and I mean only, place her adult son could go was a state hospital. In South Africa, that wasn't a solution. That was a nightmare. Okay, so let's really dive into the personal story that kicked this whole thing off. You have a son who is loved, just absolutely unconditionally, but he's on the autistic spectrum, and any little change to his environment can set off really severe anxiety and aggression. Now picture this. He's an adult, but his parents are getting older. They can't physically handle him anymore, and their whole world just shrinks. They're basically confined to their own home. So yeah, finding a long-term solution, it became incredibly urgent. So what do? You start looking for a residential care facility. But what they found, well, it was horrifying. There were just no acceptable options, and it really pulled back the curtain on a much, much bigger crisis. And with every dead end they hit, every awful facility they saw, one name just kept popping into their heads: Life Acidamini. Now, if you're in South Africa, you know that name. It's not just a name, it's a national tragedy. It represents a complete failure by the state to protect the most vulnerable people in society. 144. That's not just a number. That's the number of mentally disabled people who died. They were moved from the Life Acidameni facility to these unregistered, totally unfit NGOs, and they died from neglect, from starvation, from dehydration. For these parents, this wasn't just some headline. This was a terrifying preview of what could happen to their own kids. And out of all the horrific stories that came out of that tragedy, this one really hits home. A mother found out her child's autopsy showed she had been eating cardboard and paper because she was so hungry. It just makes it all so painfully personal, doesn't it? And it explains exactly why these parents knew with absolute certainty there was no way they could trust this broken system with their children's lives. So faced with this absolutely terrible reality, they came to a conclusion. There was only one thing to do. If a safe home didn't exist, well, they were going to have to build one themselves. And this is the moment, right here, where the story turns from fear into incredible action and hope. This whole mission didn't just appear out of thin air. It's actually built on more than a decade of hard work. It all started back in 2008 when a few concerned parents got together and started the Kuierkidz Learning Centre. They started with just 3 kids, but by 2019, they were helping 25 children and adults. That just showed how massive the need was, and it really laid the foundation for something even bigger. And to make that bigger dream happen, they had to get serious. They made it official. They set up the b.a.a.s Volente Trust, and it's all legally registered at the High Court. Now, this is a really important point. This isn't just some casual fundraiser. It's a proper legal entity with one single purpose: to get the funding to buy and maintain a property, a forever home. And we're not just talking about some vague idea here. Oh no. The trust has a very specific, very real vision for what this forever home is going to be. This is the part where it all gets incredibly real. They've actually found the perfect place. It's a 2.5-hectare small holding. It's got beautiful buildings on it already, all well maintained. And get this, it can immediately accommodate 54 people. And there's even potential to expand later on. So see? This isn't just a dream anymore. It's a real place on a map, just waiting for them. Of course, a dream this big, it comes with a pretty real price tag. And this really shows you the scale of the challenge they're facing. These are just the bare minimum running costs every month, just for the property. We're talking electricity, taxes, garden services, security. This isn't even touching things like a mortgage or staff salaries or, the actual costs of care. It just goes to show how much support they're going to need from the community. So all of this really leads to the most important point of all. This vision, this safe haven, it's only possible with help from the outside. I mean, these parents have done all the heavy lifting. They've created the legal structure, they found the perfect spot. Now they just need the community to come together and help them get it over the finish line. So, what's the goal here? It's actually pretty simple and really powerful. They want to raise enough money to buy the property outright. No mortgage, no loan. Because owning it is the only way to guarantee that nobody can ever take this home away from the people living there. That's what makes it a true forever home. So if you're listening to this and you want to be part of making this forever home a reality, we're putting the official banking details for the Deo Volente Trust up now. You know, in the end, it all comes back to this one powerful promise. It's this defiant declaration from a group of parents who looked a broken system right in the eye and just refused to accept it for their kids. They're basically saying, if the world won't give our children a safe place, fine, we will build one ourselves. And that really leaves just one question, doesn't it? Who's going to help them lay the bricks?